And we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Owned Breathing Exercises for Health, Vitality, and Creativity on Jess FM. Very happy to have you all here, and very happy to be here in the studio at Jess FM. I am going to share this link with some public here. Just have to figure out how to do that. Okay, here we go. I just wanted to say, give a big thank you to everybody who tunes in here every week, because we get some people who are actually coming in and doing the work and doing the breathing practices, which is incredible. I love it. I love it. And I'm getting to hear a lot of feedback. I'm really happy to hear from you. Thank you so much. Keep that coming. And I want to announce a special guest tonight. Tonight's topic is breathing and working out. Pretty simple topic, I guess, but infinitely complex. So many factors play into what kind of breathing is good for working out. And I personally am not a big expert of that specific thing, but I did find one. And so we'll be talking to Hoy the Hulk, who is in a heavy metal band called Break the World. And he's also a channel contributor to a learning channel called Norse Wanderers. His area of interest is northern traditional practices. But first, I would love to do a bit of a breathing practice with you. So let's begin by coming over here and taking a look at, I'm just going to go to the Awaken Network and share this with them, because I know there are lots of folks on the Awaken Network who would really love to see this. So I just press paste. All right. And we are live. As if we weren't. Live wires, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so everybody who's out there listening to Owned Breathing Exercises for Health, Vitality, and Creativity has been exposed to some pretty powerful breaths so far in our first 3 episodes. We started out, and our initial you might call it class, was all about the full yogic breath and inviting breath into all parts of the body. We did some incredibly expanding work in filling our belly and expanding our diaphragm, filling our ribs, making them nice and big, and filling our chest with breath, expanding, opening up, and becoming a vessel for all of this inhalation, which leads invariably to clear thinking and enriching your life. A lot of good things can come from breathing deeply. We moved on and we tried a balancing breath in the second episode, and we talked about wellness and had a special guest, Jay Shaw, who is the proprietor of the Awakened Network, which is dedicated to wellness-related topics. And then finally, in our last episode, we did a little bit about posture. And we made a posture and visualized with that posture that would enable the first two, the balancing breath and the full yogic breath, to have the most effectiveness in our bodies. That is some heavy work. That is some heavy lifting right there. That is a lot. And so I want to slow down a little bit here after that monumental work. And I want to give you a breath that you can give to almost anyone. There's a benefit to this. In my opinion, a big benefit to this, to having a breath that you can share with other people, that you can bring into your workplace, that you can bring into your lives, that you can share with others, that doesn't involve all of our counting 1, 2, 3, 4, that doesn't involve retention, that doesn't involve all these amazing things that expand and enrich our breath. With this breathing technique that's commonly taught at, I would say, corporate retreats, it's commonly taught in offices, you can very simply convey a breathing technique to others that gives them the whole package, that gives them a nice deep breath and gives them a visualization. So they get those aspects of owned. But it's something that just anyone can do, and you've probably even heard of it, and it is called color breath. So if you've never heard of color breath before, let me introduce it to you. The basic principle of color breath is that as you inhale, you picture a color on the inhalation, and as you exhale, you picture a color on the exhalation. Pretty simple, right? Inhale blue, exhale blue. Inhale blue, exhale yellow. Something like that. It doesn't have to be more complicated than that. You'll ask a person to close their eyes. You'll ask a person to choose their favorite color. You'll ask a person to meditate and focus on what color makes them feel really good for their inhalation and what color makes them feel very negative, maybe to push out. When you do a color breath with somebody, there's a lot of speaking and a lot of coaching and a lot of talking through. And I want to give you an example of that before we have our guest on to talk to us about breathing and working out. And the reason for this is that color breath can help you in your workouts. Color breath can help you visualize inhaling energy and strength and exhaling all the stuff that you don't want. Okay? So let's begin. Find your comfortable pose, sitting or lying down or standing, whatever is most comfortable for you. And start to think comfortable thoughts. Thoughts that are going to help you relax. Let's just try a regular breath. Inhale through your nostrils, exhale. Inhale through your nostrils, exhale. This becomes very relaxing to inhale and exhale deep into your relaxation, deep into your core, deep into your strength. Inhale, exhale. Let your eyes droop. They don't have to close. They don't have to shut. Just drooping. Try not to fall asleep. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Already you're feeling the calming of the inhalations and the exhalations. Now, as You feel that calming in your body. Let's very gently get into our own posture of being heart lifted, pulling ourselves up, a cord attached to our heart, going all the way up, 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 up to the sun. Keeping all of our little spinal vertebrae attached, in line, in sync, in a straight column. Our chins are tucked, our eyes face straight ahead, our eyelids are drooping. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Now there is calm coming to your body as you have heart-lifted posture. You remember we talked about rooting, so root yourself, lifting your heart. Now with your eyelids droopy, you can now visualize, as you breathe, a color that brings you great joy, a color that brings you great happiness. Maybe it's a sunny yellow, maybe it's a forest green, maybe it's a deep, cool blue. Any color that brings you happiness. It could be the dark of the night or the light of the day. And this color that brings you joy, that brings you happiness, let yourself see it all around you, completely surrounding you. And as you inhale, breathe that color in. You feel that color filling your body. You feel that color completely surrounding you as you inhale. And you exhale. And that color can come out naturally. In and out, this color completely surrounds you and fills your lungs when you breathe in, and empties from your lungs when you breathe out. Good. Now let's prepare to do some cleansing with our color breath. The way that we cleanse with our color breath is by inhaling the color that we want within us and exhaling the color that we don't want within us. Now visualize what color is the manifestation, is the representative, is the symbol of the stuff that you want to get out of your body. Some people don't like the color of mucus, or they don't like the color of oil, toxin, sludge. Visualize that color now. and whatever color that is. After you've inhaled and felt a color that brings you joy, now you can exhale and feel a color that you want out of your body. And you can choose to exhale through your nose or through your mouth. Nostrils are the best. Mouth is okay too. Inhale through your nose, the color that brings you joy. Exhale through your nose, the color that you want out. And this is the color breath for beginners. But I'll bet some of you who are watching want the advanced color breath as well. So for all you who are watching, let's try that. For this breath, we are going to combine our studies in breath retention, kumbhaka, with a study in full yogic breath, belly, ribs, and chest. So this time, when you inhale the color that you want in your body, bring it in all parts of your body, and then hold it. Inhale it in and hold. And exhale the color you don't want. And then when you're done, you hold. You hold all of that color you don't want out of your body, getting rid of it entirely, feeling nice without it. You inhale all that color you want in your body and you hold it, and it feels good, it's filling you completely, and then you exhale. Exhale, exhale, exhale. And now a third time you inhale, filling your body, and hold that color that you want in your body. Oh, it feels so good. And then you exhale, completely out, completely out, completely out. And you hold it out and feel what it's like to have no toxins, to have no sludge, to have your body filled with the feelings that bring you happiness and joy and health. Now let's take a third step. This is a third step for color breath, and maybe I just have not read enough, but I've not yet encountered this very powerful color breath that I use in my own practice. So if you can tell me if this has appeared in a book somewhere, please tell me. Please leave a comment. This is a color breath where you inhale the color that you want in your body, and then you exhale that color so that you can bring the joy that you've inhaled and exhale it into the world. It's incredible. It's an open heart surgery on Jess FM. I am not a licensed medical doctor. Let's Inhale that color. Inhale, 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 inhale. And when you hold it, feel it growing. Growing from your heart center. Growing from your anahata. And when you exhale, you are sharing that feeling of joy with the entire world. You're inhaling, oh, that lovely color filling your body and bringing you joy and bringing you happiness. And then holding it in your heart center, holding it in your anahata. And then you are exhaling. Exhaling all that joy and all that love and all that beauty into the world. Now visualize bringing the prana, the vital life force, this vital life force, this odic force, this ond, this prana, you're bringing it into your body with your breath, and it's all that color that brings you joy, and all that color that brings you love. And you're holding it, and as you hold it, it fills your body, and it feels like this joy, this prana, this ond, this odic force is filling up your body right to the skin, as if it would burst out, and then channel it through your anahata, your heart center, out to the world, out to everybody, out to all the people who need your love, out to all the people who need that joy. Perfect this, and you become a master healer. Perfect this, and you change the world. Friends, perfect this. But it's a lot of work. And so I'm going to give you one more breath before we talk to our special guest. And that one breath is a breath of release. This is for grounding yourself after you've done all of this energetic work, all of this work with prana, all of this work with odic force, all of this work with ond. After you've done all of this work, you need to take care of yourself, self-care. And you need to breathe in, inhale, hold it, and we're just going to make a sound when it comes out. It doesn't have to be that sound. It just feels good. It can be any sound. When the ancients used to do it, I think it was the sound of the dragon. Let's try it again. Inhaling, holding in your body and just letting it cleanse, and oh, that feels good. Okay, I want to do it once more. You're under no obligation. Bringing it in, holding it, and I'm just going to whisper this dragon. And that is a dragon. So, Sorry, I'm a bit behind schedule. Hulk is going to wonder where I am. But what I want to do before bringing him on the show is talk about this incredible gentleman. Uh, he's more than just exercise. um, Hoy the Hulk uh, is singer, songwriter, and musician in a band called Break the World. And they've just released an EP that you can find almost uh, anywhere on any social platform. I've seen it on Facebook, I've seen it on YouTube, I've seen it maybe on Spotify, or is Spotify a thing? Yeah. Um, and in his words, the name of the band, Break the World, is a departure and actually kind of radical from the usual metal um, aggro and aggressiveness. Actually, Break the World, as Hulk describes it, has to do with progressing and moving forward. But I'll get him to say it more eloquently when we talk to him. He does the Norse Wanderers learning channel, and on this learning channel, he describes a system of writing called the runic system, or the Futhork, sometimes known as the Elder Futhork, and there's also a younger Futhork. There are different, basically just read Futhork as alphabet. There are three ets in the Futhork alphabet, each of 8 letters. So almost as many letters as the Latin alphabet. And this is an alphabet that was used. I shouldn't be calling it an alphabet, it's something quite different. But it was used in medieval times and before medieval times to do a great many things. That's why alphabet is kind of the wrong word. It was used in magical incantations. Some of those incantations could be called Galdr. It was used to bless things. It was used to make stones, stones to commemorate voyages, to commemorate the deaths of important people. You would find runes everywhere. You'd find runes and swords. And so he knows a great deal about runic studies. And on his learning channel, Norse Wanderers, has started to share his wisdom with the world, which is incredible and vast. And so if anyone wants to know about, I think I have some examples of runes on my shirt here. But if you need a reference guide, just look at my shirt. But runes are more than just a fashion statement. They have a very deep meaning. But finally, one thing that he loves to do and is really good at is working out and creating music that's perfect for working out. And he knows a great deal about the kind of breathing exercises that people use for maximum gains in the gym. So I'd like to invite him on. And all right, already we're getting, oh my goodness, okay, already we're getting a lot of viewers for this guy. He's well loved in the Awaken network. So what I'm gonna do is just bring him in on this. This is the best part of the show. Actually, while I'm ringing him up, I ought to give a shout out and a big thank you to Jess FM, to Jess TV, and Jesse, the man behind all of it. Also, take a look on Roku to see if you can find Jess FM. I don't use Roku myself, but now I want to. I want to go out and get that box so that I can actually watch some of this stuff on Roku. Lovely. Okay, well, I'm just going to try a different method.
May apply.
Okay, here we go. So if you do manage to find Jess FM on Roku, I would most certainly love to check that out. So send the address my way if you can put it in the comments. Imagine being able to watch Jess FM live streams in the comfort of your own home, sitting on your own sofa without having to use a computer. It's just mind-boggling what the technology these days can do. So, yeah. I had somebody commented the other day, "Is this a call-in show?" And then I just had to say, no, I'm sorry to say it is not. But I wish it were a call-in show because I do quite love the medium, being able to call. Well, if we don't get through to him, I have another breathing exercise that I quite enjoy. So I'm just gonna... So, just want to take a moment and talk about a book that you can find on lulu.com, which is an independent publisher, and they've actually hosted, I've independently published a book called Owned, Breathing Exercises for Health, Vitality, and Creativity on that independent publishing site. The short link that I've created is tinyurl, TINYURL, / owned breathing, ONDBREATHING. And if you go to that link, let me know and I'll get you a discount because I'm always getting discounts with them. So just don't buy it for full price. Talk to me first. Just asking if he's around. All right. So I'm just checking in now with the YouTube just to see if anybody has commented. Oh, we've got one from Hiserly Phoenix says, "This is amazing. Thank you, Leif." Awesome. Hi, Hiz. How's it going? We've got another one from Hiz saying, "LOL, good exhale." It's thanks for joining us, Hiz. I really appreciate it. I've got to get you on the show one of these days. For those who are not aware, Hiz does a lot of the social media for the Awaken Network. And we're always very, very happy to have her there. Just answering some of the comments and questions that we have on the video. And yeah. All right, so moving right along. Yeah, sometimes the phone-in works, sometimes it doesn't. Which that's just kind of the way it seems to go. Oh, here we go. I think it was just a connection problem. Skal, hälsa!
Ja, hälsa bror.
All right. We're in luck. We're good. How you doing, bro?
Pretty good, bro. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. In the time I was trying to connect with you, I got to pump my books, so it was well worth it.
Nice.
So I don't know if you heard me fumble through an introduction to you in just a few minutes ago. I was trying to put into words why it is that you called your band Break the World. And I was trying to convince the people watching that there were no destructive impulses so much implied, and how revolutionary that is in the metal industry. Could you just open by talking a little bit about that?
Well, I think a lot of people agree that emotions drive music, and the entire concept around Break the World was to see it in a different light and begin to break down barriers of kind of the negative portrayal of emotions and what they are. Essentially, to say that anger is okay. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to feel certain things that you feel, and to kind of break away from what has been kind of forced social norms in that regard, as to like suppress these emotions and hide our nature. It's essential that we accept what our nature is and thrive within that. That way we can be a whole and complete self.
So we break the world to be a whole and complete self.
Correct.
It's I've never heard it that way, but it's interesting because as I understand it, there are a few Norse pagans in the group, and
That's correct.
that's pretty much the plot of that the story that stretches from Voluspa to Ragnarok is the destruction of the world and then the regeneration of the gods.
Right. And other elements too, such as our song Control. Um, Control is kind of this inner voyage where a person is trying to hold in all of these raw emotions and suppress them in such a way that it starts destroying them. So when they do finally let that out, it kind of comes out as Logan or fire,
Hmm.
and encompasses and destroys everything. And that's something that's unwanted. So naturally, we have to kind of deal and process in healthy ways, such as exercise.
I like how you brought that around, Roar. That's um, because clearly fire has its uses, but not in destroying everything. That's shutting everything down is just not necessary.
Right.
Uh, I really appreciated that new single that you released, Ragnarok.
Well, actually, that's kind of an early release to special people. It hasn't been released to the world yet. We're not quite done writing the album, but we're closing in on completing it. But that's something that we've debated releasing maybe as an early single. We've got a lot of things scheduled. We've got an actual full length music video scheduled for Control on the 11th of July. So that'll be coming out. We're gearing up right now to be able to play shows and possibly do a mini tour, and see kind of what that might generate for us.
Really exciting news. Really exciting news. And am I allowed to talk about the website as well?
Of course, it isn't launched yet, but the website is Lindsay Drive Records, which is something that I've been working on for a bit now. Buying equipment, getting things ready. Naturally, I have a few artists on board, which I'm affiliated with both personally, but this is something that I plan to expand in the near future. I have several producers on board, a bunch of talented musicians to sit in as in-house artists, a bunch of other bands that I've been mixing and mastering for and things of that nature. So more so on the technical side of it, but it is growing and it is expanding. So it's definitely time for me to put the good foot forward and put a little more effort into it and see what that might bring.
All right. I personally cannot wait to see that. Now, I'm one question I wanted to ask and a link that I wanted to see sort of test here uh, is do you have a strong connection between the music that you make, both metal and also you do some hip hop? Is there a connection between that and your love of fitness and working out?
Oh, of course. Like always, a lot of people have moved more towards hip hop and rap because it's something that gets you moving.
Hmm.
It's something that gets your blood pumping. It's something that gets you energized. And I think that certain forms or certain kind of subgenres within the metal genre really have that same driving force, that same energy behind it that really gets the blood pumping, that really gets the blood going, and you can't help but move or rock your body or just start dancing in some light way. And it really helps bring out those natural body movement aspects while you're in the gym, giving you that little bit extra that allows you to hit target goals and really push more out of yourself than what you would have if you didn't have that. It's kind of that buddy that's standing there behind you saying, "You can do this. You've got this. Push a little harder." No, that's always in your ear in those moments, whether it be at work or in the gym, out with the family, doing different activities like volleyball or hiking, things of those nature, while you're taking in all of the surrounding areas around you, such as nature. Everybody loves nature. Sometimes when you start hiking, people aren't the fittest and they need that something to kind of hide behind. And for some people, that's okay. I don't personally see anything wrong with any tool that a person uses to help better themselves. Music just happens to be one of those grand universal tools.
And so you said that there's the same thing in metal can be found in hip hop that gives you that drive.
Of course, the beat, like so. In most popular hip hop and rap, you've got a sub, and then you've got like an 808 kick, 808 kick, do do do
Hmm.
do 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 do. It's kind of the same aspect in metal, except it's just a little bit faster.
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah, I see that. I can see that. I grew up
It's
mostly with rock, and so the transition to hip hop has been a little difficult for me, but I'm starting to try to like it. One question I do have for you: have you gotten anyone who has attitude about you being in both streams?
surprisingly no, and that's something that I won't necessarily say that I feared when I started, because people, the one constant in our life is change. And the older that we get, the more we delve into our spirituality, the more we kind of have this longing, or I should say, kind of take back and elaborate. The more we hear the calling of our ancestors and our spirituality, we're kind of slowing down and beginning to hear kind of our body and our spirit say, hey, it's time to make some changes. It's time to mature. It's time to kind of grow beyond that. Things that you did, in your youth. And when I first began my spiritual journey, I grew up in a predominantly black town, so rap and hip hop was my childhood. It was my teenage years. It was everything that I'd kind of been thrust into kind of societally, because that was the norm where I grew up, in the township that I grew up in. So the older that I got, naturally, I'm a white guy. I started delving into my ancestry and learning these different things. And much to my surprise, I got an overwhelming positive response from all of my black friends for delving into my own personal ancestry and these things that were specific to the white race. Because I think that they know me and they know my heart, and they were excited for me to learn these different aspects of quote unquote my people. Um, so, no, in that regard, I have not received any negative criticism for doing both metal and hip hop. It's been an overwhelming positive feedback experience.
So you mentioned, and you brought up, the there is a racial aspect, and coming into hip hop probably carries with it certain stigma, right? Um, but
I think that that's breaking down. I will say that.
okay, yeah, yeah. That there's that people are starting to get a better sense of unity, diversity. That the world of hip hop and the world of metal are probably becoming a little bit more progressive and accepting.
Oh, of course, because you have so many talented black metal artists,
Mm.
African American metal artists that are just in your face. LaJohn from Seven Dust, Howard Jones from Killswitch Engage, several other drummers and artists who are just phenomenal. One of my favorite, I follow him on Facebook. His name is Todd Brown. He does these kind of parody skits about Tool and anything dealing with Maynard, and he listens to these bands and everything, but he makes these comedy skits about it, and has ridiculous off the wall lyrics, and it's so comical to watch that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've seen you share some awesome African American metal stuff on your timeline, and it's like I know about the more accepted bands, but I think when you get into the underground, it seems like the underground has a lot more progression, a lot more diversity, and it's about time, you know.
Right.
That's just how I feel. So that's awesome. Wow, thank you for that. I want to get into a little bit about. I have a few questions regarding breathing and working out, and some of the stuff that you do, because I use breathing more for my meditation, visualization, and more yogic practices. I do some working out, but I don't know if I'm making effective use of my breath. So for an absolute beginner, like just imagine the smallest possible weight you can imagine someone benching. Um, what should I do to get into using breath with my workout?
I think that for an absolute beginner, understanding breath and exercise is vital to your overall health and your momentum in the gym and getting gains, quote unquote. So we really need to break down the science of that. If we know that a human being on an average day, an average person, needs anywhere from 500 to 600 liters of air to sustain their body. When you exercise, you need anywhere from 2 to 3 times that amount. Now, I've seen a lot of people make this very common mistake, and that's they go into the gym and they literally work out until they cannot stop. I mean, until they cannot do anymore. They literally take their point to their body to a point of short-term muscle failure that is completely racking their body. Some people experience vomiting. Some people experience dizziness, lightheadedness. It's because you're taking your body to this point to where the blood can no longer, or your oxygen levels within your blood can no longer sustain glucose breakdown, and which is where you get your energy from while you're working out. So it throws you into an anaerobic exercising state, which is you're using perpetual movement to keep the muscles flowing, keep the energy going. And when you do that, it really does some damage to your body, especially it brings up your blood pH level so high that the oxygen is no longer saturating into your red blood cells to be carried into these different muscle groups, to allow your body to heal properly and to function properly throughout the exercise. So like I said, it's really important to understand kind of the science behind what you're actually putting your body through. If you're not somebody that wants to do that, then I would break it down into layman's terms and just say, give yourself ample breathing time between each set of movements. That could consist of anywhere from 1 to 2 minutes between each movement. So if you are, let's say you're curling dumbbells one day and you do 2 sets of 8, well, if you want to do those 2 sets of 8 in succession, that's fine. But give yourself a minute or two between that and what you do next.
Okay, so a bit of a pause. Now, during that pause, is there a special kind of breathing that you do?
There are several different breathing techniques that you can do. The most common is diaphragmatic breathing. And if you don't know what diaphragmatic breathing is, that's breathing in really deep through your nose, really pulling that breath into your diaphragm, which is right below your sternum, kind of in the solar plexus region. You want to extend that out with a hard lifted posture. Breathe in as deep as you can through your nose. Hold that for a second and then release out of your mouth really slowly. That'll kind of take any of those feelings of fatigue or kind of dizziness completely out of the equation. If you don't find that helpful, there are ways that you can train kind of pre and post workout. The 4-7-8 breathing method is really good for kind of building those muscles. Wim Hof breathing techniques are really good for kind of building that diaphragm and getting your body, the muscles that it takes to breathe properly, really engaged and worked. So when you're doing anything of cardio or anything kind of within the cardio realm, you have that breath support there to support what the muscles need to actually get a workout. There's also another one, the Buteyko nose breathing. That's a really good one, and I believe it's suggested by the Lung Association, the American Lung Association, something along those lines. I read a little while back. But that method is breathing really slow into your nose and then breathing out of your nose, again, really slow. And I think that if you begin to combine the different breathing techniques, you will find that your runs will be longer and better supported. You'll experience massive muscle increase, whether you're trying to lean them out, bulk them up, or just train for strength and endurance. You'll find yourself being capable of more almost instantaneously.
Fantastic. That's good. Wow. And that's something that's really good when you're doing curls. Can it also be used for bench?
Oh, yeah, it can be used for literally any movement. Even if you're not at a gym, even if you're doing body-based exercises, even if it's Pilates or yoga or calisthenics, getting in the front yard and running around with the kids, the older you get, the more essential breathing becomes.
Is there anything specifically you would recommend for cardio exercises?
Personally, it's kind of hard to suggest any one thing for cardio because with a plethora of people and become a plethora of different goals. So it's kind of variant and dependent upon what a person's goals are. But I find for me, the least stress that I can put on my body, such as like on a treadmill, that's kind of super impactful. And you're more focused on the movement than you are of your breathing and the goal. For me personally, I try to stay away from those things and use more rapid movement methods that don't have a lot of impact, such as cycling or an elliptical. Even fast or just training with heavy weight is also super good for cardio. Not that anyone needs to train with super heavy weights. It doesn't take a lot of weight to actually work your muscles, but the elliptical and cycling, I would say, would be the best that kind of spans across all of those goals.
All right. All right. Well, I'll put some serious thought into that because I want up my gym game, and I've got all these breathing exercises. I'd love to connect with that, but that advice is golden. I'm seeing I'm getting the 5 minutes from my producer here. I could talk to you all night. And seriously, we've done shows in the awakened hour where I think we take an hour or 2 hours of just jamming on stuff. But I just want to just say big thank you to Hoy and express my gratitude for coming on the show.
Yes, gratitude for having me. I appreciate that.
All right, brother. Well, we'll talk to you again soon.
Okay, bro. Take care.
All right. All right. That was Hoy the Hulk. You can catch him on the Awaken Network, giving all kinds of amazing advice for your personal spiritual journey, as well as I'm hoping sometime soon, because this man lifts a little bit for your exercise journey. And so I feel very grateful to have had him on the show talking about connecting breathing in your workout. Remember to practice that color breath and also share that color breath that we did together today, because it's the kind of breath that you can share with absolutely anyone. As I had mentioned, it's a great visual. It's a great way to help a person become calm. It's a very easy way to activate somebody's imagination while they breathe, which OND stands for a lot of that visualization, expanding your breath, and enriching your life. I want to give another thank you and shout out to Jessie and Jess FM, Jess TV. You can find Jess on Roku as well. And I hope you all have your remotes ready. Please go out and take a look at some of the amazing shows that we have on that are on this network. I've seen Alan Friesen does a good show, Connected with Carrie. Levi does an incredible show. There are just so many. I can't even list them, but I appreciate all of them. Thank you very much for tuning in tonight, and I will see you next week. And if, I don't know, maybe if Jesse will let me, I have a bit of a special announcement just to tell everybody. We'll be circulating some posters and talking about this more soon. But there is a special guest coming on July 8th. And I'm just going to put that out there. An expert in Kundalini Yoga will be on this show on July 8th. So everybody, please set your timers. I'll have more to say about that in the future. Good night, everybody. Keep breathing.